Hey guys, hope you're all doing well today. I hope you guys had a very happy Thanksgiving if you do celebrate, or if you don't celebrate, I hope you just had a great day in general. Today I wanted to brief you all on some information that came to light during yesterday morning's live stream with the developers of the Division 2. While I'm not really the best person to provide Division 2 news and updates, to my surprise, the devs actually answered a lot of questions that had direct relations to the Division 1. So those are the pinpoints that I'll be sharing with you guys today. To start things off, they announced the Veteran Rewards program for their loyal Division franchise players. I'll go ahead and play the section of the Q&A where they mention this.
Design something to commemorate the years of service and the fact that some of you has been with the franchise, with the game since Division 1, and also avid players in both Division 1 and Division 2. And for the majority of you, you might be able to get it by logging in the game today. You will get the Lexington gun and 3 skins based on the different eligibility levels. Do I need to recite them, or will? Oh, there is information, so I don't really need to read it.
It's very small on this screen we have in front of us.
It's a
very tiny screen like that.
Yeah,
so
it's a
I'm
very
like,
tiny screen, but basically if you first logged in Division or 1 or Division 2 after November 28th, you'll get the bronze reward. The silver one is available for those who logged in between January 2 and November 27 this year, and gold for those who logged in to the game before January 1st, 24. So pretty much everyone should get one of those rewards, and rewards can be accumulated, all 3 of them. So if you're eligible for all 3, you're going to get all 3.
Honestly, this whole thing is pretty cool. It's a really great tribute to the loyal players of the franchise coming from Division 1 and honors aspects of the first installment appropriately. They do also go on to mention not to log in first on your hardcore character on Division 2, unless that's where you want the weapon to stay. They also mention that if your inventory is full on the character that you log in on, you will not get the weapon at this time. Their team is fully aware of the issue and is working on a resolution. They did say that they are going to make sure that everybody gets the weapon. If you don't want to wait for the correspondence for that, you could probably submit a ticket to Ubisoft support, because I assume it's going to be much easier for them to track your issue for you that way. So if you if you logged in, did not get the weapon because your inventory is full, or if it's on your hardcore character, or I saw that there was a lot of people logging into their lower leveled characters, because obviously they didn't really announce this before you logged in. So if you logged in on, say, your level 32 character or 30 character, whatever, you're going to get the corresponding weapon level for that, and you're not going to be able to increase it. So just submit a ticket for it. Is all I could really recommend that you do. In the future, they did say that they're going to work on resolutions for the people that either didn't get it or perhaps got it on a lower level character. The main reason why I'm going over this feature with you guys is because I confirmed with Daria during the Q&A section of the broadcast. It's also stated on the Veteran Rewards Program article for their website, which I will be linking in the description of this video if you guys want to check it out. But if you log into the Division 1, it actually qualifies you for the Veteran Rewards. They will pull data from both games, meaning if you have logged into the Division 1 at any of these time frames, you are going to be rewarded with the Lexington and the Division 2, and I'll go ahead and show you guys the clip of where she answers my question.
Will the Lexington be obtainable on Division 2 by logging into Division 1 as well, or does it only work with Division 2 login? So the way eligibility is decided, it's actually the system compares your data to both of those games, and you can get them in Division 1 and in Division 2.
So yeah, it's pretty cool that logging into the Division 1 is actually going to qualify for you for this. So I believe that the only thing that I'm not too sure about is if you guys have never played the Division 2 but you've only been playing Division 1, if you create a brand new character, let's say this prompts you and you really want to get the Division 2 and you buy the game, if you're logging in on like your level 1 character, I'm hoping it doesn't give it to you then. So maybe I'll find out more about that and provide you some more details on that. But the next few items that I wanted to go over are a little bit smaller, but to me they have a pretty big importance. So I'm going to play the next section right now.
There is a question from someone who never played Division 2 but played a lot of Division 1, and they're wondering if entering the game at this point difficult with these events. I would say that right now is a perfect opportunity to start playing Division 2 because it's the previous seasons made it so much easier for you to start playing as a new, completely new player and get a fast track to level 30 and level 40.
So somebody asked if they jump into the Division 2 now, if they're going to have trouble. Daria responds by stating right now is the perfect time to get on the second game. I can't really speak too much to this because I haven't started from the very beginning in a long time. Usually if I get a new character, I just boost it to level 30 by using the feature for that, and then you can level your character from 30 to 40 through the Warlords of New York expansion. So I'll just have to take her word for it, unfortunately. If you guys have some different opinions on that, make sure to share them in the comments. So I'll play the next section for you now.
Will there be classified gear coming? No, we're not bringing back classified as a concept into Division 2.
So somebody asked if they planned on bringing back classified gear into the Division 2, and Yannick does confirm that they have no plans to do this. I was very happy to hear this, although it might have been answered before already. I do agree that they should have done 6-piece gear sets in the Division 1, but I don't agree with how strong they made them. As far as the stats, I think that what they actually do is really nice, but I don't think that it should have increased stats at all. I just don't agree in general with how strong they made them over other gear in the game because it puts a very clear barrier of what's OP and what's not. I do much prefer how they did gear sets in the Division 2 over the Division 1 by making the chest piece and backpack have special talents that you can either choose to do or not to do, and just use the brand set talents instead. I definitely prefer that system more.
Crossplay progression. Not happening anytime soon, unfortunately.
I'm only really bringing this portion of the Q&A up because it's a common topic in my live streams and Discord chats, but they again confirm that crossplay is not coming anytime soon, if at all.
I see a bunch of people asking for other gear from Division 1 to come to Division 2. That's not something we plan to do on a regular basis. We brought back Striker because Striker had such a strong fantasy and nostalgia in a way. So we did that a long time ago. Now we have Lexington. I mean, sometimes if the opportunity arises and we think it makes sense, we can. But overall, we don't plan to just make it a regular thing. It's just more special when it's rare.
They did answer this question in the last live stream too, but I think it's important to continue answering those questions as they come. I don't fully agree with Yannick's statement on this where the Division 1 sets are just too special and it should be a very rare case by case basis that they bring them into the Division 2 because they're so special. I can see where he's coming from, but I do think that there are Division 1 aspects that literally belong in the Division 2 universe, such as like the high-end nimble holster that should be like an exotic in Division 2 in my opinion, as well as the Final Measure gear set. If any gear set is to make it into the Division 2, then I hope and pray Final Measure is next, because Final Measure belongs in that game with how many things that happen, such as like the grenades going off and whatever. Having like exotic damage resilience of some kind in Division 2 would be impeccable, and I think it's something that I hope they consider. Another thing that I think belongs in Division 2 are some of the weapon exotic combinations that they did, such as the Hilder in the Air, the Centurion and Liberator, or even the Devil in the Heel. I think that some of these are very worthy of coming back into the Division 2, and they would have a very good place there.
Is Division 1 servers being closed down soon? No, we are not closing down the servers of Division 1. Even though we still haven't been able to bring back global events, that doesn't mean we're shutting down the game, not at all.
This was answered previously by Julian Garrity, but Yannick does confirm yet again that they are not closing down Division 1 servers, so that's great to hear.
Survival mode in Division 2 or some game mode similar to the Division 1, we don't have plans to bring back survival in Division 2. No? It's the same, it's too special, it's perfect the way it is in Division 1.
Yannick also confirms that they have no plans to bring back survival game mode in the Division 2. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are upset about this, but I actually fully support this decision. Survival is absolutely perfect the way it is in the game setting that it has. I think that if they were to just copy and paste this into the Division 2, it would look pretty bad, and it kind of removes the whole purpose of the Division 1 survival. It's like, well, it's definitely like, why would I play Division 1 anymore when I can just play it in Division 2? And I much prefer the setting that survival has in Division 1. I like the visuals in the first game far better than the second game, so I think that it's perfect the way it is, but I know that a lot of people will disagree with me on this. And finally, what everybody is probably here waiting for is news in regards to the global events. I'm going to play a series of questions that were asked and the developers' answers. I think there's like 3 or 4 different things that are going to play in a row, and then I will add my notes at the end.
Yeah, I know that there's been a lot of questions in chat, not related, but I'll address it on global events in Division 1. Unfortunately, we don't have any groundbreaking news here. There's been no breakthrough on our investigation, so we still are not able to bring them back, but not giving up hope that we will manage to do it. But it's unfortunately we don't have any news in that on that front today.
Yeah, but still on the list, it's still a big priority, especially now that we have the rewards in both Division 1 and Division 2. Will we get back global events in Division 1? So that is something that is still under the investigation, and we are trying to allocate resources to look at it and have it fixed, but we cannot really give you a timeline right now. But it's still on the plate and still something that we're actively working on.
Bring the global event back to Tom Clancy's The Division game at last. How many promises can you make? You've been promising for a year now. That's for the second part. I wanted to quote that because we've addressed that already. Like we've been saying for a while, we are looking at it. I know it sounds like it's taking ages, and it's probably very hard to understand why it's so complicated, but it is actually very complicated for us to do that because we don't have any means to update or support Division 1 anymore. So there's a lot of things that are that don't exist anymore in that pipeline that we need to see how we can how we could actually bring back global events in Division 1. So we haven't, let's say we haven't promised, hey, it's going to come back. We have just been saying we're looking at it and we would like to bring it back, but we have to see what we can do.
I guess the biggest issue at this point is that there is a chance to mess up more things in favor of fixing one. So this is another big concern that we have.
So while there are no actual updates in regards to the broken GE schedule at this time, the devs in this live stream in particular have given me the exact verbiage that I was hoping for, which is that they are still actively investigating it and they have not given up on it. It still comes down to their resources being insufficient to be able to make it a simple fix, and Daria mentions in this live stream that fixing the global event schedule would break a lot of things in the game, which is something that I don't think they can afford to do right now because, as Yannick mentioned, they have no plans to continue to update this game, which a lot of us, we have all known that for a long time. This really just comes down to fixing the thing that's broken, and if fixing what's broken breaks a lot of other things, that's something that they can't afford to do. I did try to break through the barrier of spammed questions and ask if they would at least consider lowering the classified gear cache value at the terminal vendors from 2,500 to literally anything lower than that, and I wasn't able to break through. I do think that it's an acceptable compromise while they work on repairing the schedule for the global events, so I may try and reach out to Ubisoft support for this and just see what they say, if it can at least be passed along to possibly lower the value from 2,500 to something more realistic, like 1,000 or something. I think that would be a lot better. They could also just replace the global event currency at the vendor to Phoenix credits instead, and then add all of the caches in. But again, if this is something that breaks other aspects of the game, they're definitely not going to do that. But I think that the classified gear cache at the vendor should be easily changeable from 2,500 to 1,000. But again, I'm not a gaming developer, so I don't know the answer to that question. At this time, there is still hope for the GE schedule in Div 1. While a lot of you are going to be angry and upset with this answer, saying it's what they always say, to me, I'm actually extremely thankful to have a confirmed statement, even a year later, that it is something that they're still actively investigating, and they don't plan to give up on that right now. I do wish that they would be more transparent on the underlying issues, such as what exactly is going to be breaking if they try to implement that, but that's neither here nor there. But guys, that's all the information I have for you today. I do hope we get more details before the end of the year in regards to the GE schedule In the meantime, just hang in there, keep fighting the good fight. And really quickly before I end the video, if you are angry and upset and you're going to go to the comments saying that they're never going to fix it, they always have promises that they break, blah blah blah. I'm fully aware of the developer behavior in this game. I do not need your guys' input, and all you're doing is spreading negativity. So if we can try and keep things positive, would greatly appreciate it, because if I see any of that in my comment section, I'm just going to remove the comment, because all it does is give a false representation of the information that we're given. You are not a gaming developer, so don't put words in their mouths. You can have your own opinions on whatever you would like, but when you come in here and say that they're never going to fix it, it spreads false information, and that's not something that I want in the comment section for these kinds of videos. So I'm going to remove those comments. Please don't act like that. Just try and be positive. If you don't have anything positive to say, just skip on and don't leave any comments. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys later.
Can't believe the bullshit that went down in the dark zone at the end there.
I know. We had it. Everything I told them was dead on. They made us pull out anyway.
And we left our dead behind.
Yeah, we're not supposed to do that. Hang on a second.